Yo, 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 it's Jeb in his house. Hey, yo, we're going to space, yo. Hey, yo, we're going to space. Rolling on 909s, making money big time. Hustle Uncle Sam on the taxpayer's dime. We're the spacemen in our space bridges. We gone from rags to buku riches. Throw your rockets in the air like you just don't care. Throw your rockets in the air like you just don't care. We a G unit, baby. And don't you forget it. We a G force, homie. That's a G unit. We on fire like a blade of home down. See you later. But before I'm out, let's launch the Cap Simulator. We a G unit, baby. We a G unit, baby.
Hello everybody, the iLord Root here, and welcome back to another episode of G-Limit. So we have a number of things going on today, including our first craft that'll use the Gravioli. In fact, I am going to spam science around Kerbin. So I am first going to, of course, take this guy here for good measure, because we will be sending stuff out. I'm also going to rescue a couple of Kerbals. We already have one. We need more in the way of crew, so that'll be good. And we have this space station here. Oh, very good. I think this is a good goal to have here, because we do have the ore that we want to bring out. We have a space station we're sending as well. So let's just do that. I'm not going to spend the science immediately just yet, but I do want to introduce you to our new method here of gathering Gravioli data. And that method, of course, is this guy, the Psycraft. Nothing too terribly special about it, I suppose. It's got plenty of Delta V, of course. We're going north, so that is going to be a good thing. But we need to unlock the Gravioli here. This guy is, of course, drained of monopropellant, as we will not need it. So we'll get the Gravioli. And I know as well that we are going to need the mobile processing lab as well for a future flight, so we're going to get that as well. Lots of things here to do, and I think we will just go ahead, and we're not going to send Valentina up. We're going to send Rosanna, probably. I think Rosanna is a good candidate for this. She is currently our scientist in training, and we only have 2 of them. But with that having been said, let's get Rosanna up into orbit here, and we will see you then. Okay, here we are getting into orbit. And you can see we've already gotten just a little bit of Gravioli data. Oh, there we go. That should be more than plenty as far as our orbit's concerned. It need not be circular in this case. But we will take Rosanna out, and we will take this data. I'm going to do 2 things, really, because we don't really need to go anywhere. I'm going to transmit this, of course, and we'll come back. I've got a little matrix here to where we could go through, and I believe we should have our data. Oh, Tundra. That's a new biome for us. Could just get Bob to EVA here, and we have the EVA report. So yeah, I mean, we'll go through, we'll grab everything we can here. I know that's a new biome for us, so yeah, we'll keep the data. And, yeah, we'll just keep on moving on here until we have everything. I'm not going to subject you to all of this, so I will come back whenever I get the last bit of data available. Okay, we're near the Badlands, probably the most difficult biome to get to. And it looks like we just left. The Badlands are somewhat difficult, but if we look here now, we should have just about everything here. From EVA reports to, see, we have Badlands gravity data, of course. We may be missing Tundra data, so I'm going to grab that real quick. Oh, we're doing pretty well, actually. With respect to that, let me just send out that Tundra data, and we're actually near Apoapsis here. Though I would much rather us be looking at the Periapsis side of things. Being on the Terminator doesn't really help much, I will say that. But, yeah, we more or less have all of the data that we want. We'll just grab this Tundra data here that is coming up. And, hopefully, there we go. We'll just spam that. And the reason I'm doing that, by the way, is simply because of the fact that it's nice to max out that data while we can. Certainly, one of the things about this craft that does make it a little bit difficult is the fact that transmission does take quite a bit more electric power. But we're going to get pretty close to the Periapsis, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to raise our Periapsis up to about 250 or so. And once I get up there, I will begin collecting high data, because the thing about the high data, of course, is that it's worth more, but just to give you an idea of our science here, we're almost at 300. I did do a moon thing. I did a lunar science deal. And I thought about rescuing a third Kerbal. Might be okay, given the amount of scientists we have. And I'll show you more about that as we get close to it. But for now, yeah, let's just move forward a bit. Okay, we're burning now, and we might as well collect data. Looks like water data. Now, we don't have to collect EVA science here, fortunately. There we go. That's about as circular as it gets. Again, I'm going to collect from each of these biomes here. Make sure we are pointed towards the sign. Ooh. Yeah, that's what happens when you transmit sometimes. Is it'll kick off your SAS. But I think this has so far turned out to be a pretty good thing here. And we will see you once this has been taken. Okay, so we are back. We have the last bit of science around the Badlands on the high end. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply wait for all this stuff to transmit. You can see I've got a ton of science that's transmitting right now. And then I will wait until this thing comes to land. And hopefully we will be over land and not water with that, but we should be able to deal with that in due time. So I will see you then. Okay, we're coming on down here. We just hit the atmosphere. Hopefully we'll land close here, but we got 87 meters per second at delta V to sort all this out. Fortunately, there is no science with the gravioli in the atmosphere. And it looks like we may in fact land in water. The reason I worry so much about the water, incidentally, is that for those of you who don't know, water is actually quite fatal when it comes to KSP. Landing on the land does not immediately destroy your vessel, but landing in the water usually does. So we'll just wait for the sky to come down. Hopefully Rosanna looks a bit pensive at the moment. We'll slow down to a nice speed. I have oh, there's no problem. Look at that. We got about 6 meters per second, and we even have the ability at the moment to do actual braking if we need to. So that is not so bad. I got a ton of science here, as you can see. I'm just going to get real close and I'll throw on the retro rockets. There we go. And we have the gravity scan from Kerbin's water. Let's recover that. And let us briefly take a look at this. We probably do not have much in the way of recovery, I'm sure. 65% is more than I would have thought. But look at the science here. We have 179 sciences. That's just from Kerbin. And of course Rosanna has not gained any experience whatsoever. And the sky's going backwards. So, the main question is whether or not we want to go ahead and unlock the sky. I'm sending a space station module over to Minmus, so my guess is probably not. Even though that could be useful. But we don't need these quite yet. Although, might be nice to have. We have actuators, we have these plane parts here. This guy for sure I'm going to get, because it has fairings and air brakes, and those are rather nice to have. Other than that, we got other things as well. We have the probidobidide here that might be useful. Well, you know what? It might be useful to have those wheels if we are working on maybe some kind of landing craft to do mining. That might be kind of nice. Actuators and fuel would be nice too. We'll go with this guy, I think. And now, I guess I'm going to take a small break because I have been at it for a little while, and I will be back. And we are back. So I thought I would go ahead and take Nataki comment. And just go ahead and rescue her as well, because we do need scientists. And you might ask, well, how do I know? Well, it turns out if you go to assigned here, it'll tell you. So we've got one engineer, that would be Lizane, and 2 scientists. And given our roster, we have 4 scientists, and we'll get an extra engineer, and we have 2 pilots. So that will give us a total of 8 Kerbals to work with. Or 9 actually. And that means that we can move forward with this. Anyhow, I do have one thing that I want to do here, and that is to launch our space station. So this guy is actually going to go all the way out to Minmus, and the reason for that is because of the amount of fuel we have. But you'll see here it's not much. We have a very large launch stack here, and I'm going to unlock this frustrum here. Okay, we are about ready to launch here, so I am just going to take care of that real quick. We'd have to be very careful with this because we need to the order of, I think it's 20 or 2,000 units of fuel. So we will launch this guy now. Well, despite my best efforts, I just simply did not have enough Delta V. I tried using RCS to save some fuel, but that's not going to work. So we might as well get this into an orbit that is amenable to this sort of thing. And the way, of course, that we'll do that is we will, well, you know what, maybe we can come down just a little bit more. We'll need to send a refueling mission. Okay, we are back, and I'm going to send a modified version of the refueler Mark II. We don't really need much in the way of fuel. In fact, well, let's see, that's 100 or so units. It would be good to have some surplus just in case. But, we'll try to refuel this guy. This has definitely been an over-budget launch. And it may be possible that we will need some help with that. Let me just find this guy. Okay, we are now docked, and that means we can transfer fuel over, and hopefully we'll just transfer this out. We completed that contract, which is great. That pretty much means whatever it is that we do, that we are more or less poised for doing whatever. I'm gonna get this fuel transferred over real quick. Well, that's not the best periapsis I think I've ever seen. Unfortunately, it'll have to do. And we'll just real quick go to this other guy here. As you can see, we have plenty of Delta V left in it, and we're not facing towards the station, so I'm just going to kick that off and let that guy fall into the atmosphere. Shit. Will now. There we go. You know, not so, it's not so bad, though. I mean, this guy will get out there in about 6 days. We got plenty of fuel with which to make corrections, which is part of the reason why I am so, let's say I am so eager to get this guy going. And, great, KSP crashed. Okay, it looks like the moon is getting in the way of things, so maybe the best thing for me to do here is just quickly target the moon, see if maybe it might be possible for me to get a periapse here. 1.8 second burn. So in the interim, while we're doing this, I think it's good to get Rosanna en route to Minmus as well. And I have made an update to the craft. We're going to use a slightly modified micro-lander craft for this. So we'll see that here in a bit. Main thing is the parachutes have for the most part been removed. We could also possibly deal with more batteries. I think more batteries are probably a good idea. Or even tractable solar panels. Although I think that's probably good, because we don't really have issues with power or anything like that. But we'll send that out. Let me just check the action groups, because we don't have any lights. We have the Gravioli here. I think we'll send that out. We will put Rosanna in there, because she will be able to get us Gravioli science. We could at least stick that in. Definitely as well. The plan is, at least for now, to spam the science. And depending on our initial angle of entry, I think we should be okay. But we will do that for sure. And we should still be, hopefully, if we look at, well, we're actually probably way past that. Oh, we're close enough. I'll just zoom on past here and send Rosanna out to the, out to Minmus. So, we will see you once Rosanna has made it into orbit, or at least, probably more on a, Minmus injection. So we'll see you then. Okay, we will have a slight Minmus periapsis here, and in fact, that may work out pretty well. We'll just burn here to make sure. I will work on the SOI change here, and we can grab ourselves just a little bit of science, and we'll just come on in and grab some science as well. So yeah, just a little bit at least. I want to send a dedicated mission here, but oh, interesting. Can we actually make that a little bit better? Let me do this. Let me adjust this guy, because we're not doing all that well for a polar orbit, it would seem. Okay. That looks good, although that does... well, it doesn't create much of a conflict, actually. Let's real quickly grab our science. See if there's anything here that we need to get. My guess is probably not. Yeah, we'll transmit that, why not? Okay, we're getting pretty close here. I'm going to take down the thrust limiter so that I can make this happen just a little bit more easily. A little bit less headache. You can see we're already pretty close here. I'm just making a minor adjustment. That's an 8-second burn according to this. That will be actually fairly important. Okay, we're gonna do that. And let's add our... Well, we won't quite do our SOI change yet, because this guy's coming up. Well, maybe we'll do an SOI change, I don't know. Okay, we're about to make that correction now. In the hopes that we will begin to get closer in. Let's just double check while we can. Yeah, that's a fine periapsis, if I do say so myself. We did happen to collect some science on the way in. We're still over the highlands. So I'm gonna have Rosanna grab that science, if I can. Well, let's not log the temperature, let's grab the data. That is perhaps the more annoying part of this. Something happened here. I don't quite know what. I think we were maybe just a little bit glitchy. Let me come back, because we're not really supposed to be here. Okay, so, I have not yet actually gotten OSNAP, or the science module back. I'm hoping that we intercept sooner rather than later. But I'm gonna go ahead and put this guy into orbit here. See if maybe we cannot get ourselves into a 90-kilometer orbit. That would seem to be ideal. That requires 331. So I'm going to pilfer these tanks real quick. And I'll grab some science data as well. That's over the slopes and the greater flats. Okay, that's probably good enough for now, considering the fact that I have a deficit of electric charge, at least. I think that we can get away with that. Let's grab some science real quick. At least one last bit. I'm gonna go ahead and rescue the crew. The new crew, that is, because of the fact that, oh, we got polar science already. Just because we can. So I will see you after I rescue the last crew member. Okay, we are back, and we are coming in for final approach here. With, it looks like an interesting crew pod. This is Nantucky here that we're, or Nataki. Looks like we are rescuing Nataki out of one of the crew cans. I've got the other two down. I believe it is Ikool and I forget the other one. Let me just take a look real quick. Ikool and some other person whose name I can't read because not far, but flight engineers in the way. The Zane. Well, that's close enough. We can face towards the target. And I'm not quite sure which direction is which. My plan is to, I think, okay, we're pretty much in the right direction here. Just want to make sure that when we switch over to the shipwreck, we can get out. And I'm gonna turn on the lights over here. Unfortunately, we're not as close as we thought we were. But, yeah. We're coming on in. And we will have to get some debris. Nataki is a scientist. And that gives us the good opportunity then to train our scientists as we wish. Because we can send them to the moon. I'm just going to bring her down very quickly. Probably do a minor amount of braking here. And I will see you close to landing. Okay, we're coming down over the mountains, it looks like. Which I hope isn't too much of a problem. I'm going to turn on SAS just in case. It'll be a bumpy landing for Nataki. Hopefully not her last, because that would be quite unfortunate. It looks like SAS was able to keep her upright. So, in the process, we got a number of contracts that'll help us gain just a little bit more in the way of cash. And, that includes this guy here, which is okay, I guess. We don't really need much in the way of, oh, we need a research lab. I should have thought about that. Well, we got 6 years to complete that. Fortunately, we do have some other things we can do here. New thing, of course, is planting a flag on Minmus, which is good. That pretty much pays for the lander. And we also want to send out a surface outpost, which we can easily do. That would be on Minmus, not on Kerbin. So that's my plan. And this is the perfect opportunity to train up these Kerbals, so I'm going to do that as well. And I'm going to do that with the Capricorn 1. So, Capricorn 1 is, of course, a reference to a movie making fun of moon hoaxers. The people who believe we did not land on the moon. But, you know, in this case, I think we'll be okay. This is definitely not a hoax. This is going to Minmus. So we're going to stick our new crew in, and we can rotate our crew as we see fit. And entirely female crew, but that'll be okay. This will also be the means by which we return our crew back. So we've got a lot of things ahead of us. I'm just going to go ahead and launch this guy. I have preemptively unlocked anything that might be useful here. And we'll get this guy on his way, hopefully with about 2 hours or so to spare. So I will see you then. Okay, I think we're pretty close. Let's just see how our encounter is before we really do anything about that. Maybe we can... Well, we'll fix that as we're coming in, I think. That would be the best thing. We got 4 days, 1 hour on Capricorn 1. And, I'm just going to put us in an orientation that is favorable to this sort of thing here. We got plenty of RCS fuel for docking, and I have a feeling we will be using it. We got plenty of Delta V to get back too. We're still probably good on that intercept angle, I believe. Let's just double check our contract real quick. We can send this one to Duna as well whenever our next window comes up. But anyway, looks good to me. Let's launch. Okay, we are back. And we are basically coming in now. We will collide with the planet. That'll be okay. The order of operations is roughly this. We have the OSNAP science module coming up, and that will come into space pretty soon, as this guy sort of wigs out here. And after that, we will do the whole science spam thing, at least as well as we can. And then we will go through and dock the Capricorn and maybe land the landing can. And then I will probably call it quits after that. But I will get the science module in orbit shortly, so I will see you then. Okay, we are now back. And I just realized I was running on 1/20th of the fuel. I'm going to get this guy docked up real quick. We got a few days before... Oh, let me kill this guy real quick. We have a few days before... Oh, nice. Getting this docked up should actually not be so bad, I don't think. Okay, we are coming in for final approach, and this should be a fairly graceful docking, at least I hope. Of course, we have these 2 docking ports on the side. We're pretty close to running out of RCS fuel, but I suppose not really. Let's see how it deals with that. There we go. These guys are now doing their thing. And let's see, we can get down here in about 4 hours, which will allow us to set Capricorn 1 up. I'm just going to maybe do an ascending node deal here real quick. We want this to be very slightly inclined. And while I'm at it, why don't I fully deploy the radiators here? Oh, I think that's actually good enough. Oh, and you know what? These guys probably need to be shut down because we are spraying heated gas in the general direction of these solar panels, and I'm sure that is not such a good idea. Anyhow, we will get down here, and then hopefully, too long. Oh, I've lost my ability to do maneuver nodes. Well, anyway, I'm gonna circularize this orbit. Okay, we're in a rough sort of orbit here. I think we are more or less good for now. We have an inclination of 5.5 degrees, and I've decided that we can possibly use Capricorn 1, and we might as well. Let's just get Capricorn 1 in orbit here and connect it to the space station. And stage lock. Always want to stage lock. And that locked my screen. Oh, there we go. Well, we're at least stage locked, and we do want to be that. I need to change the key binding for that at some point. Anyway, as it turns out, we are now off. I'm just going to have to trust this guy. Oh, wait, did we... No, it's just the thing here being... temperamental. Okay, we're coming in at final approach now. You can see the distance is quite great. But, and we'll slow down just a little bit, just so that we don't accidentally, send the station flying. That would be very tragic after all of the effort that we've put into this. So tragic that I would rather not deal with it again. Now, here's the thing. Oh. Well, part of the thing is I've got to dock correctly. But, we need some people to man the science lab, and I'm just going to disable this engine at the moment because, it'd be very tragic for us to accidentally hit the wrong thing. We could probably use the station-keeping jets for that. It would probably be wiser given how wobbly this is. Now, I can hopefully zoom in here and keep this thing continuously manned. You might ask, whoa, that's a little bit too close for comfort. But you might ask, okay, you can do that, but who is going to stay and who is going to go, and how are they going to get back? We're going to have at least one crew on the station here. That is, if I can ever get the hatch to go. And you know what, I'll leave Lizane in the observation pod. And now if we go take Lizane here, point her towards the planet, like so, she can very easily take an observation of the planet, which is good because she's a scientist. I guess I will spend the next 3 days before the landing can comes in gathering data. I will do this off camera because frankly it's boring and nobody wants to see it. But we do have ourselves a space station here, at least, and I do think that we'll be able to take good advantage of that. So I will see you probably close to either when we collect the last bit of data, if that happens before the landing can, or I will see you when the landing can it gets into Duna's, or not Duna's, Minmus's SOI. So we'll see you then. Okay, we are back, and we have had a grand total of 339 science from that little jaunt out into Minmus. A very nice thing, but now I want to land around the poles. So I think we could do that. We want to come around the light side, though. Touchdown. It looks like, as far as electric charge is concerned, we're pretty well positioned. I think, given that we got 13 minutes to do this, the first order of business is for us to, come on down and transmit as much as we can off of here. We do, after all, have a great amount of data to transmit. We'll keep that crew report for now. We can save that. But we have a number of things here for us to transmit, which would, of course, include the gravimetric scan. Whoa. Interesting, I don't remember doing a seismic scan here. Oh, you know what? I bet you that this has been because of the fact that we have, we'll do an EVA report as she slides off the ladder, and then we also have a contract. Okay. Wow. Okay, we are back, and now we must land accordingly. I lost a bit of science. There goes our secondary stage. Hopefully, will not fall through the terrain this time. Actually seems like a better landing spot there. Let's lock the suspension on this. Oh, it is already locked. Okay. Quick saving. Just in case the inevitable happens. So we will grab or transmit this data now. But we'll take this. And we will come back after we get the landing can going. Hopefully, let's see what this is real quick that we're trying to transmit. Oh, surface sample. And let's make ourselves a correction of sorts. We still have plenty of delta V left. And I think I'm going to set this down in the greater flats, maybe. I'm going to put this into a orbit like so. I'm going to go like that. So we have 90-degree inclination. I'll give us ample time to make adjustments here. I'm going to maybe give us 5 minutes. And return to our lander. Okay, that's the... well, after I take this surface sample at least. That is the last of it. We have 427 science here, 428, so the thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to attempt to get into a fairly low orbit, probably around 10 or 20k, and I will then see if I have time to land at the Lunar Highlands. There we go, that's better. These low altitude things here are rather difficult to hit. If we can hit the Highlands early on the light side, then things will go well. Okay, we are now at the Highlands, and I'm going to do a very aggressive break here. Require quite a bit. Oh no, we're now in the Midlands. We are getting dangerously low on fuel though, and that is a bit worrisome. We do have that fuel tog that can take. Meeting up with the station was not really what I had in mind. We'll just come up here in 39 minutes, maybe? We will bring this guy out pretty quickly, and we'll do an inclination adjustment real quick. Well, unfortunately, we just missed our maneuver node. Or, actually, no, we did not. I forgot I had put this on a 5-minute burn time. Let's see. That puts us pretty low down. We'll just do like that. And we'll get these guys stocked up. We don't need much in the way of burn time. In fact, this is probably going to be okay, the way we're doing it now. Should have more than enough for landing. And I'm just going to land in the flats here. Not the most circular thing ever, but you know, we could land in the flats. We're gonna have to quickly take care of the microlanders thing here. We still have plenty of fuel to land with. Great Flats, we already have a base there. Unfortunately. Now let's jump to the ship real quick and make our inclination adjustment. Alright, we have a pretty good thing here. It's going to take 2 hours to get back to the station, so I'm just going to leave it at that. And we got a 0.2 separation. Let's go back to this landing can and put it somewhere. Oops. Well then. Time warp is not such a good thing. I'm gonna let that go. We need to have failure in our lives. Yeah. So much for that. We'll have to send out another one, but that's okay. We'll just have to... Well, I can't switch, can I? I'll just return to the Space Center. Yeah, I really shouldn't have been landing in the dark like I was. But we gotta get this guy docked up now. And I will probably make another attempt at that pretty soon. Maybe this time I will be smart enough to put lights on. Let's just, real quickly add this guy in. And time warp forward. I mean, I think we're going to do okay here. We got a little bit more clearance than I thought we would have. Whoa, okay. Let's not drift too far away. There we go. Main order of business right now is to go through and take all of our EVA reports. We'll take all of our EVA reports here. Transmit them. Or rather, do the science on them. So we got one here. We don't want to do that. Anything, basically, that we can already get 100. Oh. Yeah. Not enough data storage. I'm afraid I don't know what that means. Is there something I'm missing here that's supposed to just work? Oh, we should have enough data storage here. Oh, I skipped an EVA report. Well, that's okay. I don't think there was any value for that. Yeah, anyway, I'll get this all sent out. And we'll do something about that. Okay. Okay, this is one of those points where I'm going to tell it to transmit science, and I will revert if it starts sending out stuff that is not... Oh, okay, that's just from the lab. So if we have these guys in the lab, they will build up science. Very interesting, and up to 500 of it. I'm glad that we do have that, for sure. It looks like maybe scientists might be able to do something with that, but there is this one issue to where if I try to improve, or maybe it's already sent everything out, it'll just say that it can't improve the science, which is a bit of a shame, but I mean, looking at it, we have plenty of science to go with, and I think that on the next episode we're going to focus maybe on the whole mining thing. We do have this guy here, which looks good to me. So I'm going to send this guy out, I think. Next time, I'm going to send out another thing, I guess, another landing can. Or I may save that for, you know what, I can actually, well, no, I can't. Oh, we'll see, we'll see. It might be possible for me to save that. But for now, I do know exactly what I want here. And I'm going to need this guy at least. So until then, this has been the Alloyed Root, and I will see you later.